Good evening. Welcome. My name is Kwabena. I want to share with you briefly what I call life insights. Life insights so far. I have been around for a little while. Actually, today today is my birthday. I remember when I was growing up, some of the birthdays they will happen, and I will not even remember them because the party was not part of it. So I think because of social medias, some of us can set a date and maybe remember that today is a birthday. And thank you everybody for sending me a message. Grateful. I want to share with you some of the insights or some lessons, some wisdom, some kind of revelations, understanding that I think I have gained for having lived this while. The difference between men is the knowledge that they have, the knowledge that they can win in life with. People are controlled, tribes are controlled, nations are controlled to a large extent by the knowledge that they have, the cumulative knowledge that they have. Families are controlled by the knowledge that they have. If you ever heard of knowledge is power, it's indeed true. What you know is power, and what you don't know can also be power that some people can use to control you all your life. And so what we know, what the things that we have, the things that we identify, the things that we get revelations on. I think that in every one of us there is some amount of wisdom. In every one of us there is some deposit of wisdom. That's why when somebody says anything that inspires you, you can easily connect with it, because in every one of us there's something that connects with wisdom. So the only thing is that most people don't develop them. A lot of us don't develop them at all, or we leave them to debate and chances. But life, to live it and to win and to have your peace, it's not so much even about money. Yes, there is money. You need some part of it. If you don't have some part, life is struggling. But there is health, there is peace, there, there, there are relationships, there is a core on your life. There's something that you want to do here before you leave this earth. If life is just about getting up, going to work, and coming to sleep, it becomes boring and it becomes stressful. I think that there is a reason that every one of us was ever pushed here, and if you happen to know yours, life becomes constant joy. No matter the difficulties, no matter the troubles, you seem to have energy all the time. You seem to have momentum all the time, because you live for a higher sense, a higher purpose than just feeding yourself. So some of the things that I'm going to go through are things that I think I have found at this stage of my life, and maybe 10 years time, some of them will change, some of them will be edited, some of them will be corrected, some of them will be thrown away. They say that every stage of your life and the kind of revelation that you get, that is if you are putting your mind to work. If you're developing yourself, you seem to be gathering some kind of revelation. We all walk in this life according to the light that we have, the intensity of the light that we have, the joy that you have, the success that you have, the sweetness of your personality, the relationships that you enjoy. They all are coming from the kind of development that you have had, the kind of training that you have had, the kind of knowledge, the exposure that you have had. In this life, one of the major things that I have identified that you will need will be the kind of people that you learn from, those who inspire you. It's very much important. if you don't choose the right one, and you don't need everybody to inspire you, just need some 1 or 2, 3 people that you can commit your life to study from. Maybe at every stage in your life. At this stage in my life, there are very few people, but 2 or 3 people that I constantly would want to hear from. I will constantly would want to read what they have. I want to learn from. I watch their videos. So depending on what your life is about and what you do, there is somebody that has to teach you something. There's somebody that you have to look up to. They could be physical, and they could be, over the internet. We live in a different time. It could be over the internet, it could be their books, it could be people that who are not even alive. So there should be somebody that you are constantly living. Nobody came into this life originally and had every knowledge as it is. You are going to learn from somebody. Your parents will teach you something, your school will teach you something, the church will teach you something, society will teach you something. But that which will push you and thrust you into destiny, and thrust you into prominence, and thrust you into success, and thrust you into something fulfilling that you commit your life to do, will be the teachers that you choose yourself for life, not the ones that you chose for school. The ones that you chose, when you went to school and they gave you to write the exam. But I'm talking of life, living, committing yourself, becoming successful. You will need people you constantly learn from. If you have not studied, or you have not picked any, you would want to pick somebody based on what you want to do with your life. So the first thing I will talk about, or the second thing, the first one I said that you have to choose your teachers. You have to choose who teaches you. And one of the criteria that you would want to use for the teachers who teach, look at their character, look at some of them, look at how the ethics that they have, look at how they make their money, look at how they became successful at what they do. Okay, because a person's character affects his philosophy and what he can teach you. So if it's somebody who compromised so much in terms of money, in terms of the value they had for people, their wisdom may not be the one that you would want to copy. So study study their convictions, their value, their character, the things that they stand for, or the things that they stood for. One of the things that I have found out of life is that you cannot build on something that is not structured, that is not organized. And so if you say that you are going to be successful, you are passionate about becoming successful with your life, you would want to get organized. Get organized in your thought, get organized in your environment, get organized with your friends, get organized with your finances, get organized with the things that train you, get organized. Get a book and write the things that you want to do with your life. Without that, your life is dispersed. Without organization, there is no proper growth. Without organization, there is no proper expansion. There's no development without proper organizations. That's why you look around the nations of the world, those who are developing, you can see that they got organized. That's why they developed. Now the other ones who are struggling to develop is because they have not done the first thing that they have to do to get developed, which is to get things orderly, to get things organized. So if you are Bible, if you like reading Bible, and you saw that in Genesis, when God wanted to do things rightly, he started to organize it. He said that let the light be separated from the darkness. I'm not a preacher, but you can never do anything rightly until you start to organize. You cannot grow until you start to organize. So every part of our life that we are struggling, it means that we have not got orderly there. We have not organized there. So one of the lessons that I think, if I were to be 10 years or 5 years and I were to have the life to live up to this point, between now and then, I would give attention to becoming organized the level that I am. In my clothes, in my friends, in my thought, in the source of information that I get. Where whoever teaches me, I would want to catch those and get organized. The other thing is that people around us, friends, they have very huge impact on us. Some of the mistakes that you made, I dare say that there was a friend somewhere who was part, or who connected you to that, or there was another human being somewhere. If you are going to commit to being purpose driven, becoming somebody with your life, which all of us have a fair chance. Every one of us would have a first chance to try to become something with their lives. One of the things you would want to look for is the kind of friends that you have around you. If they are not people who are committed to becoming something and you are always in contact with them, you will delay. You'll be in detour. Okay, and if you look at it, friends, the friends that you had when you were in your primary school, when you're in the nursery, are not the same friends that you have now. You know, they change. So you want to succeed, you want to look for friends who are confident, friends who are ethical, friends who want to do something with their lives. You cannot say that you want to achieve something and all your friends don't want to go anywhere. It will drag you, it will make you not go far with your life. So friends may not necessarily, very few people all your life. By the time you get to your 30s, by the time you get to your 40s, very few of them will be there as friends that you grew up with. A lot of them will have their own way. And so at every point in life, make sure you pick the ones that can contribute something and you can also contribute something too. You have to get used to the fact that people will cheat you, people will lie to you, people will fight you, people will disappoint you, and you maybe will also do the same thing to people. You know, life is not 100%. People, we just have, this is the kind of world we live in. And so you cannot spend all your life to dwell on the cheatings, the lies, the disappointment from people that you so much trusted. These things will happen. Would you get used to them? I don't know whether you get used to them, but they can build some kind of bitterness in you if you don't know that in this life you'll be disappointed, in this life you'll be lied to, in this life you'll be fought, in this life you'll be cheated, and some of them you will be the one doing it. So is it a good thing? I don't know, but then when they happen to you, don't dwell so much on them, keep moving. That's one of the lessons that I've learned. And you should also know that you can be taught faith, you can be taught God, and people who teach you faith and teach you God can also teach you to control you. You know, people should not teach you to control you. I think the best form of teachers teach people to liberate them into their destiny. They build you up so that you can make decisions for yourself. They build you up so that you can be the man that you want to be yourself. You become responsible yourself, not the ones who will teach you to depend on them. A lot of things are going on around, especially in Africa, where people we look up to will just give us so much, you know, so that we can continue to come back to them. If anybody teaches you and they just open a little for you to come back to them all the time and not equip you to go and fight and build your own life, that is disappointing. That is not good. That's why they say that teach a man how to fish so that he will not have to come back to you every day. If you give him fish all the time, he would have to come and depend on you. So one of the lessons I've learned is that people can easily use the teachings, religious especially, to control you and your choices and your life. But you would want to be responsible for your life. You would want to be in charge of your life, because after all, it's your life. And that's what they call will and decision, the power to make choices. It is yours. If you sell that to another person, if you give that to another person, your life will be frustrating. Your life will be frustrating because you're responsible for your life, and you need some kind of confidence to carry on to make decisions. So even if you know, like the way they teach women, and they teach them to depend on men and teach them to depend on their husbands and things like that, I think there should be a limit to that, because the women are also human beings who must also have their own decisions and their choices. They're not just subservient. They're not just slaves. They are not servants. You know, so if I were to live before, maybe 10 years, 20 years back, some of the things I would say is that I would take charge of my life. If somebody is teaching me God, I don't expect that person to teach me God to control me. The other thing is that don't live in fear of failure and mistakes. You can never achieve a lot in life if you are afraid of failing. If you're afraid of making mistakes, you will not achieve that much, because all of us would have to start at a point that we don't have what it takes to build something. We would have to start to continue to build the skill, to continue to build the expertise, to continue to get the wisdom to do something. But if you wait till you get everything, you will not start anything. So most often, people don't want to fail at all. They want everything perfect. And if you want everything perfect, then you will delay. So you make a lot of decisions, and any one of them could go wrong. So failure, maybe they say, is part of life, and mistakes be part of those who dare to achieve something in this life. Your character will be developed actually when you are put under pressure. When you're put under pressure. So your eating habits will affect the kind of health that you enjoy. So if you can look at how you eat and the environment that you live in, they will have a very much effect on whether you go to the hospital every now and then, or that you have organic failure, or whether you live well. The water you drink, the food that you eat, how quality they are, the air that we breathe, which we may not have control over it, but at least if you can, at least the system needs a lot of water. So if nothing at all, if you can drink a lot of water and walk a bit, your mind will work well, because you need energy, you need strength to achieve your dreams. And so if I had to learn, I would say that I will look at the food that I eat. I will look at, if I'm a man, I will look at how I control my health, how I control my stomach, how I control some of the things, the kind of food that if I'm eating fufu every 9 p.m., 10 p.m., obviously it will affect the kind of health that I enjoy. So your health is in your control. Nobody is responsible for your health. So it's one of the lessons that you will want to look at, because life is so precious. If it drops, you can pick it back. If you die, that's it. If it drops, if you have major problem with any part of your body, all your attention will go there. So until that problem shows up, you have to control your life. And it's not like anything at all can just happen to you from anywhere, just as they have told us. I think that a lot of the health, the prosperity, the relationship, a lot of them come from the kind of choices that we make with our lives. So if you look at your health and you are conscious of it, you will be healthy, and you will enjoy, and you have energy to pursue your dreams. So don't trivialize your health. Some people are very young, but they appear so old because of worry, because of the things that they think about, and they have huge effect on your health. So look at your health. It's one of those lessons that you will not want to overlook. The other thing is, if you are in Africa, you will hear a lot of stories about some people who are more blessed and more, they are wiser than us. And almost all the time, we hear a lot of story about why some white people came here to enslave and colonize us, and why we think they are the wisest. I think that these kind of stories, they build a lot of complexities in us as Africans. And so if I were to go back in time and learn, I would want to say that all humans are equal, all humans are the same. Nobody is wiser than you. Nobody is more blessed than you per se. They committed to something. They studied something. That's what they became. So naturally, or basically, or God did not make the black man to be inferior and the other people to be more blessed. No, we all have the same kind of capacity. Some things are conditional, some things are environmental, some things are cultural, but never believe that another human being who has different kind of skin color is more endowed than you. I think that is what builds a lot of inferiority complex in a lot of Africans. And so if it's something that you have to correct, you would want to correct that and stop blaming yourself as an African. Some people tell a lot of stories. As you grow, you hear a lot of stories about why. Even if you go to the magazine, you hear, oh, Obronino, yeah, can't all kind of, and we say them without thinking that those things have effect on how we see ourselves. It's not Obronino, yeah, can. Nobody has monopoly over technology. Nobody has monopoly over wisdom. It's just environmental, it's just structural, and constantly, if you grow up in Africa, you have to lift yourself above this kind of stories that you are going to hear all your life. You hear that somebody, even if you watch TV, if anything has to do with some kind of prosperity and some kind of science and technology, you always see that there will be some kind of white man or foreigner somewhere. These statements don't mean that we hate the Chinese or the Indians or the Western person. No, just that you just have to know that there's a lot of wrong information that they have pushed on us. So our people constantly battle with this kind of complexities as Africans. So I would resolve, or I have resolved, that another human being is not better than me because he looks differently from me. No, and I don't have to specifically live their kind of culture and their kind of lifestyle to become standardized or to become wise, or to become rich. No, I have resolved not to think like that. So develop your path into financial freedom as well. That's one of the lessons that I think I've found out of life, that you have to develop your own path into financial freedom. You have to develop it yourself. Nobody is responsible for your financial freedom unless your parents were very rich, your grandmother was very rich, your grandfather was very rich, and they bequeathed those things to you. But if you are like most of us, we started with very little, and so it is your responsibility to have a financial freedom path that you work on constantly, no matter how many years it takes. And if you happen to become an entrepreneur, understand that it's a lifestyle, it's a core, it's a sense of purpose. Okay, I believe that if you are building business, you are the ones to have a lot of money. The path to creating wealth all over the world. If you look at any country, those who control a lot of wealth are those who own businesses. The purpose of business is to create opportunities, create employment, serve society, and to create wealth. Now, if you happen to become a politician, your benefit is not to create wealth. Your benefit is to change the course of the country, to make policies and laws to make sure that your citizens live better life. So if you go into politics to look for money, you are on the wrong path. That's a fact. If you live in a country where the law works, you cannot get into politics to make money unless you're a crook, unless you're a thief. Now, it's like, okay, some people form NGOs, churches, schools, looking for money. That is not the right path. The moment you start to collect the money from the people, the poor, if you take free money, you cannot say that is the way you are going to create prosperity. You take free money, the people, you are just a custodian. You have to help the people, you have to help the society, you have to build environment with that free money that you collected from everybody. Now, when you're doing business, you don't collect free money. You have to give something in exchange for the money. So they have to buy your phone, then they pay you money. They have to buy the car, then they pay you money. You have to build for them, then they pay you money. You are doing something or giving some kind of service in exchange for money. Now, if you become a president, the money, you're not responsible. You're just a custodian. If you're political, if you become a preacher, the money that you're taking from the people is not your money. So you cannot use that to build wealth. So if you see anybody doing that, and that is the source of revenue that they get, and they say that they are rich, there's a lot of laws, or there are a lot of laws that they are breaking. Okay, because they are taking free money for doing nothing. Okay, and that is not how society, which is where established, works. And so the other thing is that don't let difficult moment decide your future. Don't let the difficulties, the toughness of your background decide the future that you want to live. If you didn't have parents, if you came from a very poor background, you struggle, don't let that decide who you can become. Never. Rather use those to build you to become whoever you want to become. Any one of us can become anything. The only thing is that if you came from a background where your parents had money or your uncles had money, then the journey will be a little bit easier for you. And if you came from a background where nobody had anything, then the journey will be tougher for you. But it does not mean that you will not reach the end. So the difficulties should not stop you. Maybe you are 25 years, you wish you had a degree and you don't have it, and maybe you didn't even finish the GSS. Now, if you want the degree, you can have the degree. You can set yourself, say, by the time I get to 40, I should have finished university, I should have gone to school. So I'm going to have a path to get to that. Somebody who had parents who finished the JSS, the SSS, could easily go to school because there were some people were there to help with the school fees. No, maybe nobody put you there, and now you are at a stage in your life that you want to do that. You can still do it. What makes people not to achieve anything with their life is not because of the difficulties. I think that is because they didn't get that sense of agency that quickly, or they didn't believe that they could become something. I think that is what stops a lot of people, because the difficulties they happen to everybody. It's a bit easier when some people have money to support you, but it does not mean that life itself is easy for anybody. Life itself has never been easy for anybody. It's never been easy for anybody. If they have money, they can have other areas of their lives that they are struggling. So don't think that everybody else has everything going on and you are the only person who has nothing going on for you. No. So don't let those separate you from your future. Never let the difficulties, the toughness, the background, that if you develop good character, if you develop the ability to work well, the ability to be dependable, the ability to be faithful to people, if you are the one you can get results, then your background cannot stop you from becoming what you want to become. The other lesson that or the other insight that would, it pays to have, what pays off in life is responsibility. It's not necessarily the certificates that you gather. If you get results, if you can get results, that is what pays in life. Sense of responsibility is what pays in life. It's not necessarily you gathering the college and things like that, the degrees. No, it's the sense of responsibility. Can you do something and get results? Can people tag you with the fact that this guy, if you give him something, he can do it? If you're amazing, can they depend on you that you can work and work perfectly? If you are, whatever that your profession is, can you be known in the community that you are, that you can commit to something and get results? That is what separates people. It's not necessarily that you don't have this or you don't have that. Do you have sense of responsibility, or you just leave things to go the way? Do they have to remind you all the time to do what is required of you? It means that you don't have that sense of responsibility. But if you have that sense of responsibility, you are always the one looking for results and solutions. You're solving problems. And so the school is actually, the degrees will help you to develop a professional, a profession, but they don't necessarily make you to become successful in terms of achievement and in terms of finances. That one you have to do it yourself. That one you have to do it yourself. That one you have to do it yourself. So if you want to make genuine money, you have to build some kind of instrument, systems, companies, businesses, investment to make that. If there is an insight that I have gathered, it's part of it. That working for salary will never make you rich. Politics and NGOs don't necessarily make people rich. If they are ethical, they become just stewards, because it's the people's money, free money that they have given you to take care, to help the society. If you use that money for yourself, then it's not good. I talked about that one. And the other one that I want to talk about is that there is difference between work and job. Job is what you do so that they pay you. Work is what you do with your life. It's the reason that you were born. That one is what establishes your significance. So what is it that is in your heart that you think you can do for mankind and for God? That is your work. That is the work. That's the reason you were born here. And that's where you have your natural gift. And sometimes that one does not even pay off. It doesn't get you money. Not so much. You can see that maybe there is a nurse who goes to work to be paid as a nurse, but then she has or he has a heart to let's say teach or help the poor. That is his work. His heart is there. So if you see somebody who is poor, who is struggling, she wants to do everything. If she wants to even use her money to help that person. That's where her greatness will be. But for the job, she has to go because she has to pay the rent. So there's a difference, and it's better if your job becomes your work, or your work becomes your job. It's so better in that case. There's no separation. You love what you're doing, and they say that you get paid for it. But many people don't have those together, especially at the beginning. So you just have to know that there's work and there is job. The job is what you're paid to do. The work is what, even if you're not paid, you're still that much committed and passionate because you want to make a difference. You want to make a difference. There's that much difference in them. And the other thing is that I would take risk. I would take risk because that is the only way to succeed at anything. And it establishes the courage that I have, the confidence that I have in myself. I will take risks. I will dare. If I have a dream, if I have a vision, if I have a business idea, if I have something that I have to try, if I have something I think I can do with my life, I will take that risk, knowing very well that I can fail, I can lose money, people can run away from me, people can disagree with me, it can be a threat to my life. But if it's in me, that's where you take risks. You take risks for the work that God gave you. God takes risk. It takes risk, and it takes some kind of courage. So if you want to succeed in this life, it takes risk. Things that you are not even sure what it will end up. There's certainty. There's some amount of doubt, but you still want to do it because that is what destiny calls for. So one of the insights will be take risk. Take risk. You cannot live comfort all your life and expect to be significant and great and achieve at anything. Whatever that you want to do, take some risk, because there will always be some people who disagree with you, some people who look at you and say that, what do you think you have? Maybe you have an inspiration. Maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to do videos. Maybe whatever, you want to build a business. Maybe you want to become a politician. Maybe you want to become a lecturer. Whatever that you think you want to become, which is outside your lifestyle, your work now, something that you think you can do, and you can feel the pain that this is what I have to do. It will take you some kind of courage to take that risk, or you continue on to push it forward. So don't waste your time on addictions. If you can, stay away from things that you get addicted to it, because they consume a lot of time, they consume a lot of energy, whether it's women, whether it's the things that all of us have the tendency to struggle with, alcohol, things like that, drugs, things like that we struggle with. If you can control them, they will help you to be a good thing. So stick with, I think it should be, if it's part of your beliefs, stick with one woman all your life. Stay with her and develop together. Don't waste the investment that if you happen to have a woman marriage or something like that, stick with them. It's better to stay with one woman and continue to grow than change or change men. Cherish the relationship, appreciate each other, be forgiving. I think it's an investment. If you put 10 years in somebody, 20 years in somebody, you would want to get stuck with that person to make sure it works. If both of you are committed to self-development and growing together, there's a fair chance that you will be old together. There's a fair chance. But I think everything is predictable. If you continue to sow into it and nourish it and develop it, then it will grow stronger. But if you leave it like that, then you're just predicting the break. So if it's important to you, take care of it. And I think it's one of the best decisions that you can make, especially because who you marry, I think is one of the most important decisions that you will ever make, because they make you or they break you. If you happen to marry a wrong one, you live in pain for a very long time. And if you happen to get to marry a good one, in spite of the challenges, you will be fine. So the other lesson I would say is that if you drive, then drive well. In Ghana, don't go 120, 140, 150, no matter what car you drive. Okay, because the roads are not good. A lot of the cars that we have here are accident cars from another country that we brought here, that some people worked on them. And a lot of the drivers that are driving, they have no Many don't have, the expertise. They don't. The mechanics that work on these cars, and if there is an accident, if you look at the ambulance to the hospital, it's a major trouble. So if one of the things that will help you to survive an accident is if you were within the speed range. Okay, so if you are traveling and you see the mark, here is 60, go 60. If they say here there is a curve, follow the curve. Read the signs on the road. And one of the best is put on your seatbelt and go slowly. And if you have to travel within the night, it's not the best. I remember there was a time we went to a project site and we were coming, and it was around 11 p.m. We got to the Nsawam road somewhere, and they had dug a big hole in the middle of the road, and they had just fenced it a little. And I was coming, around 100 or so, and I just saw the hole in front, and it's just the ABS which helped us. We would have just gone into it directly. We were driving late, and the speed was not good, So if you happen to crash like that and you die, don't blame anybody. It's because you didn't follow some basic. And so if you want to live long, you can predict some kind of living long. If you're careful with your driving, if you eat well, if you rest, if you don't worry so much, there are some things that you can. We have lived in an environment where we've been told that death can happen at any time, and the devil is so powerful to kill you. And when you are in the public car, you are going from Accra to Kumasi, you see the pastors who come and pray and talk as if that day will be your last day. I think if you spend a lot of time educating how the people should drive well, and if you happen to have good roads, a lot of the accidents will go down. It's not any devil working anywhere. There are things that we have just overlooked, because isn't the same devil living in this world? Why is it only here that we are getting a lot of accidents? Because there are a lot of things that we don't do. And so if you are here, you can reduce some of these things if you are very much in tune. Because, impact, speed is mv square. So if I'm going 100 kilometers per hour and you're going 120 kilometers per hour, the difference is not 20. And the difference is the speed square. So it's huge. That's why when you crash, the impact is that strong. So if you manage to be within the speed range 100, don't exceed 100. 80, 90, 100, you'll be safe. You'll survive. So go and make sure that your lights are good. And if you're tired, pack and rest. It's an insight. At least if you obey some of these things and somebody else hit you, there's a fair chance that you will survive. There's a very fair chance that you'll survive. And read books. One of my insights is read books. So far, you read a lot of books, you feed your mind, because without information, there's very little that you can do. Read books, study, build yourself. Build yourself. Africa needs so much knowledge. Not the knowledge of the West. We just need the knowledge to develop what we have. Not to copy everything. Bring everything. We can copy some of them, customize some of them, but we need the knowledge to develop what we have. The food that we have, the clothes that we have, the diamonds that we have, the technology that we came to meet. We need to do more research and build them so that we are not another America, we are not another China. We can also develop from where we have, because the seed germinates from within and becomes a tree. The same. So there are a lot of things that we just have left them in their original state that we have not added a lot. Our culture, a lot of information that we can get, and without books and proper reading, you cannot do much. You can't do much. You need the right. You need the right kind of information to become an expert. If you want to become an expert on something, you need to read on that. Read on that, whatever you are doing. If you are a business person, you need a lot of information. Continue to read and discover yourself. If you're a doctor, same. If you're a farmer, you have to gather information. You have to gather information. So build yourself. The other thing will be work hard. One of my insights is that work hard. You cannot succeed if you are lazy. No matter all the nice talks that they give you, you still have to put in some minimum hours to succeed. You have to put in some minimal ways to succeed with your life. Okay, so I don't think that you can become an expert at anything when you have just spent a very little time. When you have spent just 1 year at anything, don't expect that you become an expert. The best surgeons, the best politicians, the best teachers, they have taught for a while. And you shouldn't give yourself less than 10 to 20, 30 years to become an expert at something and to see significant success. So you just commit some few hours to something and you say that I'm an expert. You're lying. You will succeed when you have put in a lot of effort. And I think that people who become expert at a lot of things put in about maybe a third of their lifetime building that. Okay, a third of their life committing to that, which they would want to become great in it. So it will take a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of hard work for you to succeed. You need hope, but you have to build something beneath the hope. You need skill, you need substance, you need strategies to succeed, not just motivation. Not just motivation. I remember there was a time a young man was telling me that they say that we should read books, we should read motivational books. Then I was frustrated. He said, I don't know, I don't want to read again. I've read them, I don't know what to do. I said that it's not just only motivation that you need. You also need a workable plan. You need a strategy to get where you want to go. You need substance. And the substance is the plan, is the vision, is the strategy. How are you going to do it? Is as important as you keeping the hope. Because don't just keep hope without knowing what to do. You have to also know what to do to realize the dream, the hope. And if another thing that I would want to learn, some of it will be learn how to sell, learn how to negotiate, learn how to communicate, learn how to build your argument. In this life, people will bully you, people will come at you. If you don't learn how to fight back, if you don't learn how to sell yourself, sell your vision, sell whatever that you want to sell, you have to convince people. You have to know that. You have to put up your argument, or people will just cheat you for nothing. If they think that you're soft, they will bully you. You want to become great, one of the things that you have to learn is how to sell. How to sell how to train people, how to communicate, how to sell, how to negotiate. You have to just learn it, and there are a lot of information on that somewhere. So you work on those. These are some of the things that I think are insights or lessons or some revelations that I've learned, in this life. And commit to character, ethics, honesty. Commit to them. If you work with people who are in haste to succeed and they are doing all kind of things, don't worry. Commit to that which you can do with the little that you have, honestly. You don't have to cheat and steal to get ahead. Because whatever you're cheating and stealing and lying to get, by the time that you are somewhere that you need that thing, it will not be there. It's a law of life. Don't destroy another person's, what another person has, to build yours. So be ethical, be honest. Build it. It's a character thing. You can develop it, you can learn it. No matter what people have told you, you can become an honest person. There's nothing as joyful as you knowing that you built something that you didn't steal. You develop something that you work on with your heart. There's nothing as joyful as that. But you look at that house and you look at it and you know that you cheated the government to build that house. You bought that car and you cannot even put your name on it because you stole the money. It doesn't worth it. I would rather have 100 Ghana cedis to build my life than $1 million that I stole. It doesn't worth it. You have your peace, you have your values, you become better constantly, because one of the things that people don't go through the process to become strong is because they cut corners. Now, if you cut corners and you build anything, the foundation is weak, because character is the foundation. Your power is in your character. Your power is in your foundation. So if you work somewhere, there's no need to cheat through, to steal. It doesn't worth it. Whatever that they have agreed to pay you, that's it. Agree to pay you, take that. And if you need something, ask. If they say no, don't take it. Become a person who can say that, no, I am not going to steal. I am not going to take somebody for granted. I'm not going to cheat. I'm not going to lie to somebody. It doesn't worth it. I want to build my life the way that I want to build it. There's no point going to church every Sunday and Monday morning you are at the workplace cheating and lying. It doesn't worth it. Wherever you go, you spoil people. They have committed a lot of money to help you build. You are a general manager of a company. They give you money to work, and by the time you finish working, you have your house built. It doesn't worth it. Or you're friends with some people, and you had nothing, and within a year they gave you the position. You have built 10 houses. It's not a blessing. It's not a blessing from God. No. You and the arm robber, what is the difference? The guy who took the gun to go and shoot somebody to take his money, and you who are cheating somebody to also get the same money, there's no difference. Maybe the arm robber is even better. So you would want to have that conviction. It's a life lesson that even if you made mistakes previously, you can still decide to build a life that you want to be honest, ethical, character driven. It is hard in our system to be ethical. It is hard to be honest. It is very difficult because the foundation themselves are not set for us to be honest. If you are honest, people don't even believe you. But if you can be honest, at least you can be honest. You know within you that you are honest. No matter what people say, it is your biggest insurance. It's the surest way to succeed if you build with character. If you build with honesty, there's no point being in haste. What I've seen is that the people who steal to build, who steal to do something, they are all doing all this just to get a house, a car. That's all that they can do. There's no point to steal to build a house. There's no point still to buy a car. There's no point try to cheat and become a crook. There's no point, especially if you're a Christian. The diligent heart will prosper. If you work hard, you prosper. You may just be impatient. There's no point. Don't cheat people. Don't lie to people. You can go and correct all the errors that you have made, even if they don't accept you. At least you would have pacified your thought that you were trying to be a good person. So if your friends are the ones who are cheating at the company, lying, some people work somewhere and they form companies and they syndicate and steal money and things like that. It doesn't worth it. From the letter that I've seen in this life, it doesn't worth it. Because if you're patient and continue to develop yourself, you will get somewhere. You're going to be able to build that which you'll be proud of. And you don't have to hide it. You don't have to you don't care what people who sees it, because you work for it. Okay, you didn't steal it. So it's one of the best decisions that you can make. That's the best way to keep your happiness. That's the best way to keep your health, as a matter of fact. Because one of the things that you don't want to live with is constant lies. They are toxic to your emotions. You are toxic to the hormones. When you have to always remember how to lie, they destroy you. You grow old. You don't become courageous. You don't become confident. You're fearful. People who cheat and lie are fearful. They live in constant fear. They may appear like they are confident, but they live in fear. Because if you so much believe in yourself, then you know that you can create a future that you want. You don't want to steal. You don't want to lie to anybody. You just do what you have to do. It's not that you're perfect, but even if you're wrong, you would want to go and correct that. So it is one of the lessons, a very good lesson, that if nobody taught you to be honest and ethical and character driven, it's about time that you started to do that. It will separate you from a lot of people. And with time, it will pay off. It will pay off. Because that's the foundation, actually. That's the foundation. The foundation that you are building, that strong foundation, is only of character. Nothing more, nothing less. So value people. I would want to spend my life to value people, love life, cherish people. It's one of the major lessons. People mean a lot. Whether they are from your village or they are not from your village, whether they are white or black, whether they are Nigerian or Kenyan or Chinese, once they look like human beings, you cherish them, you value them, you respect them, you love people. There's nothing like that where you can have heart for people. It's very much liberating to just love life, love people. It's actually strength for you to love people. Don't be the kind of person who you meet people and you're angry and they have not even done you anything. You're suspicious of people. You talk behind people. You lie about people. It means you don't have heart for people. You don't love people. If you are walking on the street and you see somebody struggling and you have something, dole out. Give something to them. You know, what is it that you can do in your own way to make life comfortable for another person? That is the essence of life. Don't decide to frustrate another person. It doesn't worth it. Life is so short. Yesterday you were 20 years. Today you are 30 years. Another day you are 40 years. By the time you see you're 50, sister, you're gone. You know? And my wife was saying something today. She said that life is so short. And her argument is that you are 18. Before 18, maybe 1 to 25, your parents are in charge of you, if you had any. And by the time that you are in charge of your life, maybe from 25 to 55 or something, 25 years. You know, you get to 60, and if you have children, they are calling you to come and take care of your grandchildren. So it's that you have very little time to make a lot of impact. And so cherish people, love life, value life. Let the pain of people get your attention. Let what people struggle with mean something to you. When you are talking to people, identify where their pains are. Don't be the pain for people. Don't be the one creating the pain. It doesn't worth it. It doesn't worth it. Make life very much comfortable for somebody every day. Whatever you can do. If people work with you, don't threaten them with fear, and don't threaten them, treat them and talk to them like they are nothing. It doesn't worth it. Even if they do something that you don't like, talk to them like humans, because they have the same right as you have. They have the same right as you have. They have the same right to make decisions. They can say that they have quit, the job, and you can't do anything about it. And that point, all the power that you think you have is lost. So if anybody is under your influence, treat them with respect, treat them with honor, treat them with kindness. It's so important. Let them disagree with you if they have to, but so long as it depends on you, love people, value people, cherish life, cherish people. And just understand the other thing that I would want to say is that understand that the culture is different from religion. The African culture and the African religion have been confused. So when people are practicing religion, they say that that's the African culture. A typical example is when you see the fetish priest and he's cutting the chicken head, and they say it's culture. No, that's one African with a particular religion. So another African can be a Muslim, another African can be a Christian, another African can be a Hindu. You can meet an Arab man who is a Christian, or who is maybe practicing Judaism, or practicing Buddhism, or something like that. So the culture really is the one that builds the philosophy, the food, the clothes, the naming ceremony. Those are a bit different from the religion. So separate them. Because some people ask us that if you so much believe in Africa, why are you a Christian? This is a good question. Good question. But I told them, I say that I think that one of the best teachers that ever lived, his wisdom was so phenomenal, is Jesus. And that's why I follow him. And I still believe that there's something beyond this life. Not everything that you can see with our eyes. There's something after this life. Okay. But I'm more interested in practicing it than just saying it and being cruel to people. I want to let people know that if I serve Jesus, then I express his love. I express his character. I express his wisdom. I express his power. I express his understanding. I express his knowledge, his creative power. It's not just this, he's organized. He's somebody who was very organized. So I don't understand why you want to say that you follow him and you are that disorganized. He was a very bold man. So I don't understand why you want to say that you follow me and that you are that fearful. You can't even say what is on your mind. The man was being killed, and the guy who had power to say, go, was asking him a question, and he told him his mind. He was a strong one. And so those are the things that attract me to the man Jesus, So if there is any character anywhere who exhibits that, I would want to learn like that, So as you grow, one of the things that you will still be thinking that you're a young man. It just dawned on me, that memory has no time difference. what happened to you that you have memory for. You still believe that you can't think that it's just the last 30 years that those things happen. Whenever you remember them, you still think like, this thing just happened yesterday, because memory has no difference. That's why when you're growing, you still think that you're still a small boy, but your children look at you and they think that you've grown. And that's okay. Your body could be growing, but your knowledge and understanding is still very much refreshing. Okay, and so the other lesson is that never ever give up on your dream, and never ever give up on yourself. You can only fail when you have given up. You're only a failure when you have given up. You can change the method, you can change the technology, you can change the approach, but don't give up on your dream. Go for it. If you want to build a business, no matter how many challenges that come up, no matter how many mistakes, no matter how many disagreements, no matter how many people vilified you, it doesn't matter. Don't give up on yourself. You should be able to live life and be noted of something that you came to do. So never give up on your dream. Don't live a limited life. Don't live a life that is so predictable. Live life so that you can affect other people. Share something on your heart with people. Do something, whatever you can do. Build a business, become a president, become a minister of state, become a preacher, become something. Don't just live selfish life only for you and your children. Well, many people suffer. Many people are looking for that which you have. So don't look for yourself. Never give up on your dream. Never. If you have to take a break, take a break. If you have to do something, but never give up on your dream. Never. That's worth it. Because the dream will never go from you. You'll be 70, 80 years and you still be talking about when you wanted to build a business, when you wanted to do this, when you wanted to do that. Because this dream is a seed. It will never die. It never dies. So don't give up on yourself. Fight for it. Fight for it. And discover your life calling. Your gift. You are gifted to do something with your life. Discover it. Discover it. And that calling, that purpose, that gift was meant to change lives, to change destiny, to bear something. So my name is Kwabena. Thank you for watching. I've talked about some life insights so far. Today happened to be another year of my life, and I was, reminiscing. Reminiscing. It's an English word. I mean, kakai. The things that I think have inspired me, and some of them I've talked about. And if I have to say something, I'll talk about get organized. Make sure you're orderly. If you have to choose friends that are confident, that are ethical. People will cheat you and lie. Don't be worried about them. If you have to choose somebody, choose good teachers who have more knowledge, and don't live in fear. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Take care of what you eat. Look at your health, because they will go a long way to keep your body. And never believe that you're inferior as an African. Never believe that. Constant look for your financial part to financial freedom. And if you happen to be an entrepreneur, it's a lifestyle, it's a call. You never give up. It's in us. And don't let your difficult background separate you from your future. Okay, and your life will only, people respond to responsibilities. In this life, it's not the degrees that you have, it's the solutions that you bring. Okay, and the best the degrees can help you is to get your profession: lawyer, doctor, engineer. That's all. But to succeed as an engineer is more than just the degree that you have. So if you want more money and genuine, create businesses, create investments. If you happen to be a politician and you get money through politics, you are not an honest person. If you build an NGO and things that you're collecting people's money for no return of service or product, you were not meant to get money there. Okay, you were just meant to be a custodian. If you want money, take the risk, and when the money comes, it's yours. The other thing is what? The other thing is there is a difference between job and work. Your job is what you do, and your paid for work is what you do for life. Okay, and take risk. There's the only thing between you and your dream is the risk that you have to take. Okay, and don't get addicted to things that will waste your life, and you happen to have a woman, get stuck with her. Learn, develop together. Don't waste 20 years of your life and then separate. It's tough, but what can you do? If you can commit to self-development constantly together, you can rebuild anything, and you can build together. And if you happen to drive less than 100 in this Ghana here, apply wisdom. The rate at which the accidents happen, they're too much. There's a lot that you can control if your speed is managed. Okay, and read books. Feed your mind. Feed your mind. Feed your mind. Feed your mind. Become an expert at something. Work very hard, because without it, you don't become an expert. Work hard, and don't just hope that things will change. You need strategies. You need plans. You need substance to make the change. And learn to sell, negotiate, communicate, fight for what you think is yours. Be ethical. Be character driven. Be honest. Don't treat and cheat people. Don't live a lie. It's not important. Let other people think of what they think of you, but for yourself, live the way you want to live, which is your ethics, the values that you have. And know that there's difference between culture and religion. One is superstition, the other one is the way we live. Okay, and as you grow, one of the things it will not happen to you that you're growing, but you're growing. So you're growing. There's no memory has no time that you're growing. And don't give up, ever give up on yourself, and discover your life purpose and your life vision. Develop the team. Develop team around you, around your vision. Develop that. And wickedness is different from weakness. Wickedness is different from weakness. Okay, but wicked people are weak. So stay with being good, and you'll be perpetually at peace with yourself and at peace with your maker. And that is where success is. Don't be wicked to people. Love knowledge, love wisdom, love understanding. Love knowledge, not sports. Love knowledge, not comedy. Love knowledge. What Africa needs is people who can create the future that we want. There are a lot of products that we are producing in sports and entertainment that we don't need, because they are not solving the problems that we have. We are complaining so much about poverty, about systems that don't work, and yet we spend so much time watching football, watching comedy, and focusing so much on trivialities, and then we come home and you're complaining that why are we not developing. You cannot spend your time anyhow, and still go for growth and development. So go for wisdom, go for knowledge, go for understanding. Reduce the waste, reduce the entertainment, reduce the party. You cannot succeed in a country that you don't believe in, is one of my insights. If you are going to be here and you want to succeed here, you might as well believe in the people, believe in the country, no matter what experiences that you have had. It's one of the best countries that you can live in anywhere in the world, I can tell you. And if you want to succeed in any country, you might as well believe in that country and its people. The complaint and the murmuring and all those, they just take a lot of energy from you. Should we not criticize? You can criticize, but you have got to believe in the country that you live in, or you will not succeed there. Learn to think and be critical in thinking. Ask questions. Develop your vision, develop your team. Build structures and systems. Don't let everything revolve around you. Have data, record your revelations. Okay, and don't decide to stay small. Grow, expand, multiply. It's a philosophy. It takes time, but you can do all those. So so build relationships. Don't focus on build quality relationships, good friends, good mentors. Good, build people, honest people. Be around such people. Don't be wicked. Don't frustrate people on their path to their destiny. And love knowledge, love understanding, love wisdom. Go for them every time. Get books to read and reduce waste. Entertainment, reduce them. You don't need that much of it. Okay, and you cannot succeed in a country that you don't believe in. Learn to think, be critical in thinking. Build vision that you have. Develop your leadership skills, and find talent that you can work with. Be systemic and structural in thinking, and apply them. And don't believe that it's your call to stay small later. No, it's not Kitobi answer. Kitobi. Think of growth, think of expansion, think of multiplication. So thank you very much for watching.